There she is.
Gorgeousness. Hello. My soul sister, what's happening? What's happening?
That's my twin right there. That's my twin right there.
That is correct. That's
Mine.
right.
Oh,
It's
mine.
us. It's us.
I love this woman so much. You have to understand, everyone. I'm so honored and so grateful, seriously, through all of our laughing moments that I
Yes,
encountered on Instagram, on social media, of all things, that I actually resisted doing social media for
me
many
too.
years,
Me
girl.
too.
But
Me
the
too.
people that we have met, it's like our
Yeah.
team. Look how beautiful you are. I mean, when I first saw you talking on your wellness, your logical wellness Wednesdays, and I was
Yeah.
like, I, you were speaking about wellness in a way that I haven't heard about before.
Got
And
it.
and I was like, oh, I need to know this. I need to know her. This is not even, we're just gonna forget it. We're
We're
taking this to
doing it.
a new whole level. But it made so much sense to me, and the way you deliver your message,
Thank
the
you.
innate information that you have, but on a spiritual level, because you know me,
Sure.
I there are many things you can read in a book. There are
Sure.
many classes you can take.
Sure.
There are all of the disciplines you can do.
Yeah.
But logic,
It's life.
that, yeah.
It's life.
And
It's life.
that's all of the life and past life for me. As for those of you who know, I am a shamanic practitioner. I do past life regression, and I have witnessed so many incredible things with people coming back into their bodies and bringing in their Akashic memories. And when I saw you, it was that. I was like, oh, she remembers things from a very deep, deep, deep past life spiritual level that she marries into what's happening now. And
Love it.
so, yeah, I was like, okay, this is the woman. So, Camille hit me the other day and said, she's going to be doing a series of master classes coming up, and she's talking in one of her first ones about breath health and wellness. And I'm like, there's my sister again, because I had that post that I did maybe about a year ago, and just really bringing awareness to how we can stay connected, especially as women, to our innate biology. And I said, I don't mean to offend anybody.
Correct.
This is not what this post is about. However, you have to know, if you got if you decided to get breast implants, and so many women do, it's like number one um, surgery, that in plastic surgery, believe it or not, you do realize that you have just placed something in your heart chakra, in your space. And the very thing that you were trying to do, which create more intimacy and be more beautiful, is the very thing that you actually went in the opposite direction, because you can't, and that's the logic. And that's why I love my girl here, because the logic is, how can you be connected if, as the divine feminine heart, you just disconnected yourself from yourself?
I'm sorry.
And so,
Can you repeat that one more time? I just need people, because that's my focus, logic,
yes,
right? I need people to ask themselves that
yeah,
question in that way.
yes.
How can you stay connected to yourself when you cut off or cut through your most important part of yourself?
So
Like it is,
you
yeah, yeah,
and take it away from that point, because, as you know, especially now with everything that is going on out there, the
yeah,
toxins that we are having to get out of our bodies,
yeah,
the wellness that we're trying to achieve, that is
yeah,
not easy with the level of what's happening.
correct.
The lymphatic system is so important. It's the most important. It's not something that we learn about. And so this, Camille, tell us, like,
Okay.
give it to us. Give it to us.
Okay.
Give it to us.
So for those of you, and I do see you, Guapamama, I see you down there. Good to see you and Miss Glacier, two of y'all that I see every Wednesday. Very, very good to see you. I love your energy. Thank you for sending it. And everyone else who is choosing to give us your energy. It's not something that we take for granted that you decide to spend your important energy on paying attention to the things that we say. So it is very feeding, and I appreciate it. So let's talk about the good stuff. For those of you who don't know what it is that I do, I have created a protocol that is called Lymphatic Frequency
Yeah.
Detox. And if you don't know what that is, you wouldn't, because it's mine. I made it up. And what Lymphatic Frequency Detox is a healing protocol that I have created that resets the electrical current in your water filtration system, in your lymph system. And people may say, okay, well, Camille, why do you talk about water so much? Because water is life, y'all. And when I say that, I mean that in every biological, metaphysical, physiological, every single way. When we say water is life, I am going to prove it to you. So lymphatic frequency detox is a protocol that uses living modalities, specifically an oscillating high frequency, which resets the electrical current that runs through your water.
Mm.
Why is that important
Yeah.
to you? Let me tell you why that's important to
Yeah.
you.
Tell us why, because this is it. This is she's got
Let
it.
me tell you why that's important. You cannot live without the flow of your water. And I'm going to prove it. First of all, by stating this: we breathe through our water, we eat through our water, the cells communicate to each other through our water. And you could still say, Camille, well, wait, I don't understand what you mean. Okay, let me go deeper for you. Where is the first place we spend the first gestational 9 months of our entire
Right.
being? In utero, in an amniotic sac of what? Water. That amniotic sac surrounds us for those 9 months. It feeds and carries the oxygen that we use to breathe. So the first 9 months of our lives, we're breathing through that water. It carries the minerals that are broken down from the food the mother eats and feeds the minerals to the baby in utero. And the electrical current that the cells need to talk to each other is carried in that same water. When we are birthed out of the vaginal canal, the water simply goes internally, but we still are fed and function by that water. So if there is not a current flowing high enough in that water, guess what doesn't feed the cells if the water's not moving? The oxygen and the minerals that are carried in that water. Water is the ultimate semiconductor of electricity, which is why they want to build all these smart cities on islands. So it's by water.
Mm.
Water carries electrical current or frequency. That's what we call frequency, or the sound of the body. And if that current is not flowing at a rate that causes the water to be able to move, the minerals become like sand
Yeah.
and get stuck, blocking the water flow that's carrying the oxygen. The water and the minerals get hot, which is what they call inflammation. And then the system calls that disease. So when I use, or my affiliates use, LFD on a person, we are essentially resetting and flipping the switch in your fuse box from where the switch has been flipped off. That's it. And the body does the rest. The water does the rest. You can go 3 weeks without eating, but only 3 days without water, because water carries your oxygen, and water controls the blood. The blood is 85% water. It is lymph water. Many of us have been programmed to be distracted by things like organs, tissues, bones, the blood, without knowing the basis of what runs all of that. And that's water.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
It's water. Proven by what, Phoenix? What do we have that proves that entire piece of information that I just gave you?
Right. Our frequency,
That's
our frequency,
correct.
yes, our frequency device that is,
That's correct.
that
That
reads every
assesses
single
our
thing. Yeah.
function in
Yeah.
the water,
This is
right?
this is really amazing because it is, we're really at a time when humanity is beginning to understand that we are all made of frequency and water. And it's
Correct.
just, I see it everywhere, which is really amazing.
Correct.
You know, it was in I guess the early the 90s that Dr. Emoto, and I had the honor of meeting Dr. Emoto here in Los Angeles. He was on his book tour, mid 90. No, it was early
Yeah.
2000s. And he, it was really amazing because nobody understood about that there was a frequency and that if you thought or you prayed or you exposed water to pictures, that imprint would remain in the water. It would be red. It's like when we pray into water, we pray over our food, everything, and like you're saying, the bones, the organs, everything, the food, everything that we come into commune, it's water. And so we can change the outcome by changing what we say, what we're thinking, all our thoughts, all of that, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. But right now, there is such a beautiful wave where people are going, wait a minute. They're waking
Something
up
is,
to a
yes.
different thing so that the work that you're doing, the work that I'm
Yeah.
doing, the work that you're specifically doing with this frequency detoxing
Yeah.
is now, it was ahead of its time. I feel like we're really stepping into
Agreed.
like right now. Yeah.
Agreed.
And that's amazing.
Agreed. DJ Petway, good to see you. For me, I am a Western baby. All three of my parents, including a step parent, are physicians. Two are surgeons, one is an internist. I spent a lot of my younger life in the Western system. I was a hospital administrator, a medical transcriptionist when we had those. Hello, IDing my age a little bit. I spent a decade or two as a medical assistant. I was an executive in two of the big three insurance companies. I'm not going to tell you who, but I was in it.
Yeah.
I was in the
Hmm.
system. And there was all of this information that was cycling in the system. But there were two very important questions for me that were never answered. There was always information and never an answer. How and why? We kept telling people, this is what you have. We don't know why, but this is how we're going to fix it. And there was never any logic in that.
Right.
How are you going to tell me that you have a solution to something you don't have a question for? And it was this big cycle. Again, once you're in the system, it's in a cycle because they never give you a goalpost because they never give you an origin. The only thing that gives people an origin is holistic wellness. Because what do we do as holistic providers? We assess origin. Where is the point, the starting point, so that we can then help you to get to the goalpost? But if there's no question, if I say to you, Phoenix, I want you to run this 50K, and you're like, okay, Camille, where do I start? And I'm like, I don't know. How are you going to know where you're getting to?
Yeah.
It's impossible. You'll never know.
Yeah.
And that's our system. Our system keeps you in it because they never answer your questions.
You What you said right there, the holistic, and where are you starting, and what's logically connected. I think one of the most amazing things that you talk about, and again, it seems so simple, and yet so many people don't think about it, is we are being cut off from our knowledge, but we are being, because our body is the subconscious mind, and our body holds our innate knowledge, that when we are cut, like we go in for these surgeries, and you can talk about these, an elective plastic surgery, all of the things, every time they cut into your body. And what did you say, Camille? You're no longer,
A whole.
there you go.
You're no longer a whole. And when we talk about the function of the body, one of the important things you just said, Phoenix, and I see this in my clients, our programming is so deep, right? That the innate magic of the body,
Mm.
which you and I see every day, is almost too simple for the programming that we've been programmed as humans. People can't understand why, after 3 decades of going to every hospital, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Johns Hopkins, they can never get help or relief from their symptoms. Yet they come and lay on my table one time and feel better. And I explain to them, that is not me. That is your innate power that I'm simply reconnecting you back to. But even though they experience it, it is still hard for them to believe, because as humans, we are minuscule in our intelligence compared to the extraordinary magic that's in the body, right? We use 10% of the brain. But we also have to remember, when we're doing these surgeries and cutting through the system, the body is one unit. It is one unit, one cycle of water that starts at the top, goes down to the bottom, and then comes back up in multiple ways, interwoven in a way that is designed to perfectly feed and filter the body, which protects the body from disease. It is one unit. If I have a piece of paper and I rip that piece of paper in half, I could glue it, I could tape it, I could staple it, I could paper clip it, but it will never, ever, ever, ever be that one unit piece of paper that it was before I ripped it. That is the same thing in the body. There is no way that you can ever talk about healing the body without talking about the head first. The head sits on top of the body, and everything that functions a cell, which is needed to function the body, is in the head. Where we eat is in the head. Where we breathe is in the head. What we see that feeds the brain is in the head. What we're listening to that affects the frequency or the synapses that affect brain function is in the head. The fact that people think that it is okay to separate or compartmentalize
Yeah,
one system of
yeah.
magic is deadly to us. It's deadly. It's deadly.
You know, listening to you is always just so enlightening. Every single time, there's always, and at the same time, it can make you sick, not because of you, but because of the realizations that come along. And I'm literally here going, how in the F, and I'm just going to say it, do we as humans even have the fighting chance when how many cesareans, the kids coming out, and the mothers are cut clear across that meridian, cut clear, and the babies are cut. So then now what do you have? You have the perfect soup, and you'll speak to this, the perfect soup for being disconnected, and you don't even know
You
it.
have no idea. You have no idea. And I will just say, because you just spoke on it, I see a lot of women who bring their children to me who
Yeah.
can't breathe, who have severe eczema, who have severe allergies, have been diagnosed with what they call autism, ADD, and ADHD, all of which, by the way, my people, are the same problem.
Mm.
I see a lot of them. And I will tell you, 99.9% 5% of those women have all had a
Yeah.
C-section. And one of the things that's important, remember what I said. So here's what this is going to be very important. Remember, I said the first 9 months of gestation are inside water. When that water comes out and has to be sealed internally,
Mm-hmm.
it starts that process coming out of the vaginal canal. When they cut a woman for a C-section, they stop that process on a child, and that child begins to swell at birth.
See,
And that
see.
swelling and stagnation of water on top of and around the brain are all of these issues that they call these neurological problems, and they aren't. It is water that is not flowing. And so they don't have enough oxygen to thin the mucus. So they have all of these, what they're told are allergies. There's not enough flow of water across the brain. So the synapses that fire, which they call neurological process, aren't firing because they're having to try and fire through stagnant water mixed with mucus that's on the outside of those membranes. So when we talk about the power of water, when I say to people, and my people who are with me every Wednesday know I normally don't filter what I say, it's because I need people to be, I need us all to be as base and as simple as we need to be to accept the magic,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not smart enough to understand it. We never would be. However, if we could just understand and acknowledge and then accept and then let the body do what the body was created to do, none of our system would be what it is. None of it.
Yeah.
None of it. When we cut through this water-based system, I'm going to say something very important to people, and I need y'all to get what I'm saying, right? I need you to understand something. One of the most detrimental parts of our system, and you know what system I'm talking about, right? Is the system that many of us go to get prescriptions and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
We have to remember that this current system is only about 200 years old. And the system was created by a businessman, not a doctor,
Yes, yes,
with a
yes.
goal for
Yes.
profit, not for healing. And it doesn't mean that your doctor doesn't want to heal you.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, of course they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone to school for as long and they wouldn't have paid as much money. But what is detrimental to your life
Mm-hmm.
is they were not taught to heal you. They weren't even, they don't, first of all,
Right.
when doctors are in med school, you know doctors practice on cadavers, right? Cadavers are dead people. Dead people are dead because the water stops flowing. So the very things that doctors learn on, they learn on things that aren't even real. They
Yeah.
can't even see the lymph vessels in the body. They don't even know they're there. So
Yeah.
how is it that people are comfortable going to a set of people to make them feel better when the set of people that you're going to have no idea what that is? They don't
Yeah.
even, they have no clue. No
Mm.
idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
None. None
And this
and
is
none.
and this is why we have you. And we seriously, though, I mean, it's so serious because we are at a crux with
Yeah.
our health and our
Yeah.
wellness, like we have never been before, because we have introduced into our bodies more toxins and been have
Sure.
talked into
Sure.
taking things that never ever should have ever been taken. And here
Sure.
we are trying to detox. And so I'm so happy to bring you. I'm going to ask you something a second. I was just
Sure.
reading one of this. Yes, with one of, I'm not sure how to say your name. You said, yeah, I had a cesarean and my son definitely had extreme eczema allergies. Yeah.
See,
And all of that. Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
you know how quickly I can clear up a child who has eczema? In 5 minutes. And I never touch their skin, I touch their head.
You should definitely get in touch if you guys don't know each other.
Yeah.
100%. So I know Camille has. We're not going to go the whole hour here because Camille has some things happening afterwards. But she has an upcoming masterclass right on breast
Yes.
health that
So I try to
everybody.
do Yeah, I try to do every month what's called a Healing Hands Masterclass, and I limit them to 75 people at a time. They are done via Zoom. And each time I do them, my goal in doing them is teaching you your connection to your lymphatic water through whatever issue that we are talking about. So I'm doing on December 16th, I'm doing breast health. I've done a healing hands before where I've taught you how to heal yourself using your hands. I've done one for alopecia. I have eczema coming up. I have heart and blood diseases coming up after that. I have pain coming up after that. And what you all learn through these things, because I'm teaching you in real time, that's the point. I'm teaching you while you're watching me and you're doing it so you experience. That's the receipts.
Yeah.
Those are the receipts. We don't ask any doctor for a receipt or to prove anything to them. Yet those of us that can and are proving it are the ones we don't listen to. So we have to remember that there the powers that be, there are some things that they kind of throw in our face because they know that we're not paying attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important things like words. So they have created the word called biological, meaning pertaining to the body. But the word is biological. The biology of
Hmm.
humans is logical. It is not scientific. The word is not bioscientific.
Right.
We absolutely have to start working this, right? Because what does the brain activate when we use it? The frequency that causes the water to move.
Yeah.
But if you're not asking questions, if you're not doubting, if you are not forcing things to connect dots in a straight line to your frequency is being affected instead of you using your frequency effectively. Henry.
Well, yeah, he jumps on. I saw a
Hey.
white medicine man from Canada, and yes, we are getting on that call
Yes,
because
sir.
yes, Canada. Camille is coming up to Canada with her incredible certification for lymphatic frequency
Yes.
detox, and going to have
Yes, yes.
a whole new crew of Canadians who are your practitioners. So that's going to be
Yes.
incredible. So, everyone, I would say on here, I am absolutely going to jump onto every single one of your classes. If
Lovely.
you could actually, I don't know if you're in there, if you could put a little down in the box, your link, just so people know,
Yes.
I just don't want to get it wrong,
Sure.
um, so that people can jump on this. This is that sovereignty information I call. This is like what I call the warrior medicine, where it's your hands. It's you. We are in control. Our minds are firing. We are thinking. Our frequency of our thought is affecting everything that we could possibly think of. And healing ourselves is the most important thing. I mean, this has been taught in scripture all the way, all the great avatars along. What? We're healing ourselves with our hands. So when you come into the presence of a master teacher, master healer, take the classes, because this is what we do. And there is something else I just want to mention, because that very first time, remember when I saw you at the Logical Wednesday, I had
Yeah.
been working for about 2 years with an amazing frequency device called the AO scanner. It's a Russian technology that was developed by Russian scientists for their cosmonauts when they were spending time in outer space. And they would be at space station for, say, a year and away from their family, and maybe they were depressed, and so their frequency, their emotional frequency would go down, or someone was having a heart attack and they're like, how can we possibly learn how to read what's going on in their body? So knowing that every single organ, to an eyelash, to your nose, to your heart,
Every
has a
cell.
quantifiable, every cell has a quantifiable frequency, like a mathematical frequency. And so they figured out all the frequencies for the body. And
Yeah.
they then could read them on the quantum field. Well, this incredible technology was whittled down to literally an app that you can use on your phone or your
Yep.
computer. And so when I saw Camille talking about all this in frequency, I was like, oh. I
Yeah.
have, this is her device. I was like, this right here, it's mine, it's all of ours, but oh, she's going to love it because it literally has the ability to do a lymphatic detox, like
Yep.
all of the things, but it reads every single
Yep.
frequency and then gives you the ability to upgrade yourself to put your whatever organ that's not in balance or in
Yep.
homeostasis, every emotion, it reads the frequency of your
Yep.
voice. It's
Because
incredible. So,
listen, it's proof of what we just said.
yeah,
I just said every function in your body is attached to the water. The Solex scanner proves that because it uses the vibration, the frequency. Frequency is vibration, is sound. It uses the frequency in the vibration of your voice and assesses every single thing your body is doing through the water.
yeah,
And so those of you that are with me every Wednesday, you hear me talk about this software every single time. It is the ultimate test for you and your family. I mean, you will never be able to pay 6,000 doctors to test the amount of things that this software tests for you and then optimizes it for you. So the deal is what the magic of the body is so amazing. Simply becoming aware of what is happening to your water changes the state of it. And so what the scanner does is it shows you where in that instance your water is not flowing very well, and which causes you to pay attention, which causes you to change it. And then the app in the quantum field optimizes that water.
yeah.
And if you remember that everything is water based, think about it, even and especially emotions. So when they talk about generational traumas, do you know where that comes from? It comes from your water. Why is that? The umbilicus or the belly button
Mm,
is attached to every lymph vessel in your body, particularly the organs,
mm,
and is passed directly from mother to child.
mm-hmm.
So if the mother has not reset her emotional trauma in the system that is water, it keeps running in that system and then is pulled out by the child, and the child carries it as well, right?
We're going to
It
have a
is
whole
water.
class. We're going to have a whole
Yes, we are.
master class on that. Seriously,
We're
we
going to
actually
do,
really are.
yeah.
Yeah, just on
We're going
that.
to do, Joe Shang, I'm going to put it here for you. We're going to
Yes,
do a whole, we should do that, Phoenix, like
we
sometime this week.
we abs
Maybe we'll do that this week.
and you put your great
I did.
the link is in there for great. And
Because
if
here's another
anybody,
secret, y'all. If you're upset, if you're upset, like sad, what do? You cry. Isn't crying water, right? Emotions come out just like the filtration of toxins come out in water. If you're angry or you are mad, you may sweat. Again, it's water. If you have things that emotions that you are not dealing with, the water stops moving and then you have neurological issues.
yep,
Everything is carried in the
yes,
water. In the breast, particularly because we're talking about the breast, I need y'all to understand something crucial. And I am not going to filter what I'm about to say because I love you more than filtering what I say to try and save your feelings, right?
this is why I love her. Let's go, girl. Let's go.
You women who are thinking about cutting into or cutting your breasts off are crazy. And I'm going to tell you why. And Phoenix mentioned it before. We are one unit. The importance of the breasts, and I said this on a reel the other night, your breasts are 50 to 70% of your lymphatic immunity, not the gut, y'all. The gut has to get fed by the lymph vessels in the breast. You don't believe how important they are? What do you do with your child when you birth them?
Yeah.
Where do they get their first immunity from? Sucking and suckling on the breasts, because the breast tissue is surrounded by nothing but waterways and lymph vessels. And so many of y'all get stagnation in the lymph vessels. And remember, the lymph vessels carry minerals. And if those lymph vessels get stagnant, then the minerals become like hard sand. Yet a doctor will tell you you have a mass, a cyst, a polyp, and they will go and they will tell you that you got to cut it out, but they can't tell you what it is. And then they cut it off, and what they're actually cutting off and cutting out are the waterways that carry your life force to the rest of your body. And for those of you who don't know this, 90% of your lungs are water. And do you know where they sit? Right underneath the breast. So every time you get things cut off, part of your lungs go with them. And the lymph vessels that they take out are what cause the swelling, because the lymph system in the breast, which I said the other night, is like your garbage route, right? Because I have to use analogies that people get. You fill your trash can, right, with trash, and you put your trash on the sidewalk for the garbage trucks to come and get. So we're doing what we're supposed to. We're putting the trash in the trash can. Lymph nodes are trash cans in the body that are strategically placed along the lymph vessel routes, which are designed to dump into and then come back and pick up the trash to get out. But let's say you've been putting your trash in the trash can and the trash hasn't been picked up. And you keep throwing the trash in the trash can and the
Yep.
trash doesn't get picked up. What happens to the trash? It begins to overload and fall over into the street. That's what happens in the body when the lymph vessels get inflamed. The lymph nodes are the depository, but the same lymph vessels that dumped the toxin into the trash cans has to come back up and pick the trash up and take it out of the body. So if you have trash falling on your street, right? This is what a biopsy is like in the trash, right? The trash is falling into the street, and you call the trash truck driver and you say, "Hey, trash truck driver, I need you to come check my trash cans because trash is falling in the street."
Mhm.
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with the trash cans. The problem is the route. You need to find out why the driver isn't coming to collect the trash. When you go and allow them to do a biopsy on a trash can that is full of trash that is supposed to be in the trash can, and they go to cut the trash, where does the trash go? Into the vessels that they cannot see, and then hence into the tissues in the breast, giving you what they call cancer. It is not that. It is a stagnant lymphatic vessel, which if you know how to reset it, which is what I'm going to teach you on December 16th, you don't have to worry about those issues. It is a logical system, y'all. Stop making this harder than it has to be, because you making it harder is making you sick. It's making you sick.
And this is why I love her. This is why, because of that analogy. Does anybody, if anybody on here knows about the magic school bus? You remember
The
Miss Frizzle and the magic school
magic
bus? Like,
school
yeah,
bus.
right. Did we just not go on a journey trip? See, you should do a thing, Miss Camizzle. Camizzle on the magic school bus.
The business school bus.
Right, Camizzle school bus. She just took us on a whole journey and explained it right. Like, because that's the thing. It's like, but why aren't they coming to pick up the, wait a minute, why aren't they coming to pick up the, like, I literally was on a magic school bus ride, and that was incredible because we learned so much. We got a new show coming up. You and I.
The
I'm a
magic
ride
school
gunshot.
bus.
I'm riding gunshot in the thing. You're gonna ride the bus. I'm gonna be over here being like, yeah, her, what she said. Let's
But
go.
but you see, Phoenix, how easy that was to
Yes,
get, right?
but
That's
that's
not just the breast, y'all. That's the entire
yeah,
body.
right.
Every one of the things that Sabi was so correct about
Yeah,
was there is no disease, y'all. Everything in the body is a stagnation of the water, which
Right.
is supposed to feed every cell, everything it needs to function your body.
Yeah.
If that water is not flowing, you don't eat, you don't breathe, and you don't filter. You become your own stagnant, hot septic system. They call that disease. I simply call that lymphatic stagnation. Please do not make it harder than that,
Yeah.
because they can't give you an answer. I can give you an answer. Phoenix can give you an answer. Healers can give you an answer. That's what healers do. Doctors have to satisfy the insurance companies and the American Medical Association, none of which have your state of wellness as their goal. It's not fair, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And if we simply go to a place where we're using logic, like I tell a lot of people who are in the system, they're on 12 different meds and they feel like crap and they're gaining all this weight and they can't sleep and they're in pain. I always want to ask them, and I always tell them, if you had asked 1 or 5 questions, you wouldn't be where you are right now.
Yeah.
When
So
we
true.
were in school, Phoenix, what did I learn?
Mhm.
You have to ask who, what, when, why, where, and how. If you can't answer at least 4 of those questions for me, then what you tell me doesn't mean anything to me because you can't give me an answer. But so many of us will go and sit in front of a doctor. Not only will we not ask those questions, but if we do, then none of them are answered, yet you will still go and do what they tell you to do without an origin. That is taking your life away from you. That is not their fault. That's your fault.
Well,
That's your fault.
ultimately, we have been spiritually disconnected and we have been
That,
trained not to ask those questions because there was a thing. But guess what? The agenda is running itself very well. It's very respectable, is it not? This thing that they're running, because the more and more we get cut off, and then all of the cesareans, all of that stuff, we are trained not to ask those questions. And in this time, this is the reconnection. This is what we're doing. We're reconnecting. We're bringing up the ancient innate wisdom that needs to be our wisdom right now. So I love having this. I'm not going to
yeah,
hold you too much longer
I'm
because I know
okay
you got
for
to jump
a
off.
minute. Yeah.
But I
So
would like you.
Guapa
There's
Mama
new.
just said something to you, said something. So you go, Phoenix, and I'm going to answer what she said. This is amazing.
This is okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say because for new people who've jumped on, so great to see all these amazing people. If Camille is teaching an incredible master class, one in a
Yes,
series on the 16th, I would love you just one more time if you could
sure,
put down in the comment box
sure,
so they could jump on and see that. There she is,
sure,
ancient innate wisdom. Yes,
sure,
Colleen, my girl. She is just
sure.
on there.
Hi. So
And
yes, you guys, cejimages.com is my site. And under services, there's a category that you can navigate to that says wellness experiences that you could
yep,
definitely sign up for.
y'all,
But this is important that Guapa Mother just
yes.
said. You all know that when I'm talking about water, what do I talk about all the time? Salt.
Mhm.
I talk about salt all the time, particularly Himalayan salt. And so Guapa Mother said that she had somebody that hurt, and listening to me, she gave them a salt rock to use and their sciatica went away. Let me explain this to you. Let me answer something real quick, Phoenix, that you said, and I wanted to remind people of when you were talking about the indoctrination of not using your brain. The same businessman, my loves, that created the American Medical Association and our current system created the other system that we call formal education. So Rockefeller created the healthcare system. He created the educational system. Both of those systems are disconnecting us from our logic so that we don't ask questions. And when you don't ask questions, your synapses in the brain are not firing, which disconnects you from your logic, making you a vampire and a zombie.
Mm.
And that's what they want. But why do I talk about salt? Because in the water that we're talking about, my loves, in this water that is your life, There are 102 minerals that run through that water. Do you know what the majority of those minerals make up? Salt. We are salt. We are salt water beings like the ocean. If the water in the ocean did not have the waves to flow, then the minerals in the salt water would become like sand, and the phytoplankton at the bottom of the ocean could not make the oxygen that we use to breathe. It is the same exact thing in the nature of the body. We are the atmosphere. Why do you think that the metals that they're spraying in the air are not making us supremely sick all the time? This bone-chilling cold that most of us are feeling around this country, that is not Mother Nature, and please stop blaming it on her. That's how it feels when you spray metals in the atmosphere, and the metals, the frequency that these metals emit when 5G is up creates this weather that is not natural, but it's causing Mother Nature to fight. It does the same thing in your body. If your water cannot balance and cannot regulate itself, you will become stagnant and you will become sick. The salt is the mineral sand that I'm talking about. We are salt. Salt works instantly, immediately. And I'm actually going to have a masterclass on
Yes.
salt too, to show you all how to heal yourself from salt. I don't care if you have digestive problems, a headache, you cut yourself, you have a wound, you want your hair to grow back, you use salt. What is one of the biggest money makers for big pharma? High blood pressure medication, right? But we just talked about the water is what flows the blood. Most people who have been told that they have HBP aren't eating enough salt, my lovelies. I'm not talking about the white salt that they have removed the minerals from and then bleached it. I'm not talking about the iodized salt. Yeah, that'll kill you in a minute. That has bleach in it. But mineral salt, Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, sea salt, there is a reason those are important for us, because we are those things. We are salt water, and that water has to flow because many of those minerals are what carry the electrical current. And so without this system being
Mm-hmm.
in balance,
Yeah.
we can't function. We
Camille,
can't function. We
guess
can't
what?
function. What?
We're the salt of the earth.
We that, okay. That's the literal interpretation of the word. We are salt on the inside of the earth, same natural minerals that are like, if you all know I never give you anything that you can't go and prove yourself, yeah? I want you just sometime this week to go and Google the molecular makeup of a human. And then I want you to go and Google the molecular makeup of the sun and of trees and of grass. And I want you to use those pieces of information and connect them together. Because once you do, you will never let a doctor tell you that you are allergic to grass. You know I love y'all, but if any of y'all come and visit me and try to tell me that you're allergic to grass, I will kick you out. You can't be allergic to grass. You are molecularly the same as grass. However, if your water is not flowing, then the stagnation of that water mixes with the mucous membrane of the cells, and you can't process molecules of things that they call allergies. It's still a water problem. Everything is a water problem. And those of you that are putting things into your body, particularly the breast, particularly people who are choosing to put implants. I want you to know that the magic of your body is automated. Anything foreign that you put into your body is going to fight forever until it can't fight anymore. But how does your body fight? With water. It uses water because water carries the antibodies or the stem cells that heal a particular deficiency in the body. But if your water is not flowing, the water gets sent and then it sticks. And then that water, because it's not removing, is that trash can that starts dumping the trash into the tissues. And now they tell you you have some sort of disease, or they tell you you have the C word. No, you don't. You have an ocean on the inside that has stopped flowing. That's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all. But you cannot put things in. You've seen the videos of them taking out implants, and they're very hard and they're very calcified. That calcification, that's your mineral salt that has been inside of your tissues for so long that it has hardened. And what does it do? It encapsulates the implant, because your body's smart enough to know, much smarter than us, that it shouldn't have been in there in the first place. So it's been trying and trying and trying and trying to fix the problem, but you put implants in there intentionally, and so it never stops. And then, just like the trash route, if you take
Yeah.
out 2 or 3 or 4 routes, what happens to all of the other routes? Then all of the other routes have trash that keep dumping, and then they tell you you have all kinds of other
Yeah.
issues. It is a very important part of your life. There's a reason there are nipples on the outside and belly buttons that go in. It's a cycle. The baby is fed by the umbilicus. They birthed out of the vaginal canal, and then, like a cycle, they come back up to the breast and they actually breastfeed. That is why breastfeeding helps women lose weight after surgery. Weight is water. When you have activation of your lymph system, then it causes the water that's being retained other places to go bye-bye. It is a
Truth.
unit, y'all. And
Truth.
on December 16th, I'm
Yep.
going to teach you. I'm going to show you. We're literally going to do it. You're going to be in the mirror while we are on Zoom, and I am going to show you how to feel a cyst, a polyp. I'm going to show you what fibrocystic breasts feel like. I'm going to show you how to empty them. I'm going to show you the lymph nodes and the lymph vessels, which control that functionality. And all I have you do, even tonight, Google, because you know I hate Google unless it's something that's very easy to find. Google the lymph nodes in the axillary space, which is what they call under the arm, the axillary space. I just want you to look. I want you to look and see how many little dots are underneath there, which are the lymph nodes, and how many green things, which are the lymph vessels, are connected. And every single thing that was put in the body was put there strategically and on purpose to work systematically to function your body. If you take out one piece, including a tooth, which is also going to be another healing hands, because many of y'all
Yes, it
went and put
is.
braces in your mouth and made your body much, much worse. But that's the reason we do these healing hands, is because I teach you based on, you could bring me any disease you want. I don't care what it is. I can take it back to the lymph system, because that's where it comes from. Every cell in the body is functioned by very important lymphatic vessels, 3 to feed, 1 to exit. If any of those get stagnant, it is the lymphs that swell, which as a side effect swell the cells, not the cells. The body is all lymph, and the skin is the signal flag. Every problem has its origin in inflammation, which is controlled by the lymph system. The body, because it can't do anything else, simply signals to you. When there is a blockage, it will change color, it will harden, it will break out in a rash, it will itch, it will hurt, it will swell. All of those are signals, my people. Signals for the same origin, same problem, one problem. That's all.
And this concludes the episode of the Magic School Bus, starring Miss Camizzle. She's coming out with a book. She's got a product called Salt of the Earth. I'm on it. I'm riding shotgun. We're just going to do this thing. So for everybody, this is why I love this woman. She's just amazing. We're going to jump off because they're going to kick us off. But I just
Okay.
wanted to say, I'm so excited, and she is serious about get on that
Yeah.
homework before you get in her class,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's so amazing. This is where we are. I'm going to say reminding ourselves, reconnecting our minds back.
Yeah.
This is the whole work.
Yeah.
For any of you also on here, Miss Camizzle. Did you see that? That's right, Miss Camizzle. We got a whole new thing. It's the Magic School Bus. I'm gonna
Miss
start
Camizzle's
with like the theme.
Magic School Bus.
I'm gonna start with the theme music. I'm gonna bring it up. Come on, the production. Just watch. I'm not kidding. Um, Anybody here also drop a note in my DM
Okay.
and just say frequency medicine, because I'm also going to have a Zoom masterclass on the frequency device on this app, because a couple people were talking about what is it, so that we can do that.
Absolutely.
Camille, if you're too busy, I can get it. You can get it. We'll be on it,
Absolutely.
because that
Absolutely.
right
We
there
should do that
is
soon too,
yes,
as a
yes. So
follow up
just drop
to
it
this.
and
Yeah.
drop in
As a follow
your
up to this.
email. Drop
We
in your
should do
email
this.
too, and yeah, we'll do it. And Camille, I'll get them
Okay.
to you and the whole thing. Thank you, seriously, so
Thank
much. It
you.
is always a pleasure.
Thank you.
This sister of mine is just
I
everything,
love
and
you.
I
I love you. I
love
love
you
you.
so much.
I
Thank you,
love you
everybody,
too.
for coming.
Thank you, you guys. So, you guys, hopefully, I will see you on the 16th. We're gonna do another live on the scanner, because I'm telling y'all,
Yeah,
we're trying to give you the proof. We're trying to give you the receipts,
yeah,
right? That's what our
it's
system can't
receipts.
do, but we can do. So, all you gotta do is pay attention. Henry, love you too. We're gonna
Yes,
come see you up in
yeah,
Canada for sure. That's gonna be a
that's
party.
gonna be a party. All right, you guys,
All
drop
right,
me a
love
note.
you. See you
Let's go.
soon. All right, I will see
Bye,
you
babes.
soon.
All right,
Bye.
bye, babes.